on the calendar to harass vendors, arrest journalists, and repeat the same peace and development mantra that hasn't developed anything since the invention of the mbira. But instead, Zimbabweans gave them a surprise party. Only this wasn't the kind with balloons. It was the kind with placards, silence, shutdowns, and full-blown resistance, including stone throwing. The protest hit them in two painful places: the streets and their pride. In Harare and beyond, a few brave Zimbabweans physically confronted a fully armed state. We are talking riot cops in full Robocop cosplay, tanks rolled out like it was a D-Day, and enough tear gas to fumigate the entire southern hemisphere, all deployed to stop citizens with cardboard signs and courage. And yes, there were real confrontations. People fought back, and the streets became battlegrounds, not just of fists and boots, but of narratives and nerves, also not forgetting stones. This wasn't a protest. It was a mirror held up to a regime that can't even handle its own reflection. But that was just the street level storyline. The second front of the protest, perhaps the one that really freaked them out, was the ghost protest. The nation simply stopped. Shops closed, combis packed, people stayed home, phones in hand, heart in sync. It was like the entire country was holding its breath, not out of fear, but out of sheer coordinated defiance. The regime had tried its usual Jedi mind trick: threaten violence and then say, "Go about your business as usual." Zimbabweans responded with, "Nah, we are good." And just like that, business wasn't usual. It was politically radioactive. Now, if you think a regime built on paranoia, propaganda, and pension aid power holders took this well, think again. They panicked. So, what do? Enter Jane van Mswere, the Minister of Muzzles, the Sheriff of Silence, the regime's human error 404. The men sprinted to cabinet with a fresh piece of legislative duct tape, a new media professionalization policy, allegedly to elevate journalism, but actually just a high-gloss blueprint for full-blown censorship. Under this genius move, podcasters, YouTubers, TikTokers, bloggers, and even your grandmother forwarding spicy ZBC memes on WhatsApp now need to be registered media professionals. Because clearly, the biggest threat to national security isn't poverty or corruption. It's your cousin Tafadzwa's Facebook live video about potholes. Mswere wants to regulate satire, license commentary, and probably install a government spokesman in every WhatsApp group, for national peace. But this isn't just about stifling voices. It's about avenging the M31 embarrassment. The protest worked. It exposed the regime. It proved people no longer need formal structures to rise up. They just need each other. And that scared the ruling elite more than any election ever could. Even grandmothers could be seen on the road protesting together with the young people. And right as the tanks were being pegged away and the tear gas fog lifted, we started seeing smoke from somewhere else. ZANU-PF's own kitchen. Turns out, while the people were revolting in public, the party was busy plotting its own little coup, this time against Vice President Chiwenga. Yes, the once untouchable coup general himself is now on the chopping block. Why? Well, because the Geza revolution is actually in support of Chiwenga taking over from Mnangagwa and Chiwenga becoming president. So, what is the plan? The plan is to remove him and install fuel mogul and regime financier Kudakwashe Tagwirei. That's right. The man who owns every petrol station, sugar deal, and half of the Reserve Bank is now being positioned to own the vice presidency too, monopolizing the country. Tagwirei was actually supposed to be welcomed into the Politburo in the last meeting before M31, but guess who blocked it? Chiwenga. At that point, he still had some political muscle, still held the military remote control, and with M31 still pending, no one wanted to upset the general. But now, with the regime delusionally declaring M31 a flop, they feel emboldened. Like a boxer who thinks he won the match because he didn't hear the crowd booing. Never mind that they were too busy dodging tear gas. So, now, ZANU-PF's Harare province has gone full bootlicker mode, aggressively recommending the co-option of Tagwirei into the Politburo. That's step 1 of the plot. Step 2, slide him into the presidium and hand him the keys to power. Because nothing says people's government like replacing a general with a fuel dealer. But it gets better or worse depending on your blood pressure. Word on the street is they also want to promote General Valerio Sibanda, current commander of the Defense Forces, straight into the vice presidency, replacing Audio King Kembo Mohadi. That move would conveniently clear the military's top job for a new loyalist handpicked by Mnangagwa. You know, someone less coup-prone, more pocket-sized. With Chiwenga sidelined, Sibanda sitting in the VP office, and a pliable new army boss at the helm, the plan is simple. Neutralize the army, rewrite the state, and make sure the only possible coup left is one involving instant coffee and a headache. All of this, entire soap opera power plays, media gags, and militarized musical chairs. It's because M31 worked. It jolted the regime. It proved that power no longer lives in party structures, but in the people. And that's what has them choking. Not on protest smoke, but on their own fear. So all these changes are being done so that the regime protects itself against the people, not for the people. So to the government, we say, go ahead, criminalize journalism, regulate Facebook statuses, arrest WhatsApp admins for subversive emojis, replace Chiwenga with Tagwirei and swap the commander-in-chief for a commander in panic. None of it will put out the fire that M31 ignited. If anything, it will just pour petrol on the blaze, and Tagwirei would be the guy supplying it. And for your own information, M31 hasn't stopped. M31 is still continuing. Stay tuned as we brace for the continuation, phase 2 of M31, starting soon after Blessed Geza gives instructions on Wednesday. And that's tomorrow, by the way. If things go well, by end of Friday, we should be having a new president in Zimbabwe. This is Zimwaves TV, your front line in the battle of truth versus tyranny. If you believe we have had enough of fuel politics, fake reforms, and frightened old men playing musical chairs with national power, then smash that subscribe button like Chiwenga blocks Politburo agendas. Stay informed, stay sarcastic, and most importantly, stay loud. They fear your voice, so let's give them a symphony.
Siginaro ya bageza, amuna kwinzwa here patwi. Swahili pa Twitter.